might take a minute to pop up, so while we're doing that, we're gonna get our pretty dark.
Your return honors me, Guardian.
We got all kinds of things to take. Nothing real good. Shoulder charge. That would actually be very good with the Thunder Doctrine thing, because the thing is, Overflow. Dealing unique elemental damage grants this weapon stacking bonus damage. Oh. It's got overflow though, but not what we need. I don't know why it's not popping up on YouTube. It says I'm live for 2 minutes. Why is it not showing up on my channel though? Oh, there it goes. Here we go. Nice. Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Just checking to see if So I want to talk about today the lore, or the non-lore, of the new episode, Edge of Fate. So we're going to be doing this while playing some Nightfalls, because I do not want to take 6 years to find the lobby on GMs. So we're just gonna run this. So while we're running this, I'm going to give my honest opinion on what might happen. So the only thing that I have seen, which I am not very happy at, like, from your perspective, I know that Ikora will be there. I have watched the Bungie live stream. I hear myself. I watched the Bungie live stream. So I know that Ikora will be there. A new character named Lodi. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be there.
Guardian, my forces report that Shadow Legion units are shifting their attention to the Cloud Arc.
That's likely why Neomuna's defense systems are reading offline. But I bet those Vex punks are also poking too close to the city's internals.
that? A Taken blight? The Shadow Legion are forcing Taken into that Vex pocket.
The VexNet uses similar gateways as the Cloud Arc, which means they could infiltrate the network and gain access to the Veil.
Taken are relentless, especially under the Witness's control. We need to get in there and stop them. Portal is clear. Let's follow those Taken and remove them from the system.
Hey, Guardian? I'm not sure just how much damage these Taken can do, but hopefully we can beat them to the punch. The Cloud Arc is built on the energy field produced by the Veil. It's resilient, but not impenetrable. A backdoor wouldn't be impossible. Maybe getting rid of whatever is at the center of this will also help our Vex problem. Maybe.
There's got to be a way to destroy these blights. We can't let more of them form.
I think this season is going to be lackluster compared to what everybody is saying. Oh, this is the start of the season, but remember what happened when we first
here very long and they've still managed to take over this Vex pocket.
They're fitting allies for Callus, investing any space they're found in. If we waited any longer, this would have been much worse.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about that.
Good and bad.
This is the access point. Let's get rid of that Taken before it opens a path into the Cloud Arc.
But we're going it down so they can have space for something else in the future. So if they, let's say, add a new exotic mission, because the previous exotic mission was too slow, or like they had a perfect gun that they wanted to come out with at this time, or they came up with an idea of a gun like after it drops. I think maybe that would happen, but I also think they don't have. I don't think Bungie wants to give you like 100 exotics. This whole like create 100 new exotics, because that would make it kind of be picky choosy. Like, hey, there's 100 of these that are pretty goated. Which one do I choose, and why won't I choose another one? And if I do choose another one, what's so good about it that makes me want to choose it, you know? And I think if they create more than 5 exotics, this whole two expansions, it's gonna be like, sure, it's an exotic, but why should I use it over this? Or like, what makes it a percentage better than this or that? And I think they're trying to phase out at least the exotic, um, they're trying to phase out the exotic, like, head to toe things, because, um, class items are, like, so much better in every way. Well, not every way, but in most ways. Like, with the new setup they have, they're going to make it way harder to get your class items, or not way harder to get your class items, way harder to get your um, melees or grenades or class abilities, or um, it's gonna be way harder to get these. At least from what I heard. I think I did listen to somebody else in a podcast or something talking about class items and abilities are going to be way slower to get and way harder to proc unless you have like 200 in this, 200 in that, 200 in this. And I think we will have like 5 um or 6 like setups, like, hey, we'll spec 100 into this, 100 into that, 200 into this, just to have a kind of synergy going on. But I don't think it's going to entice the. I know the speedrunners and like people inching out like 1 extra damage here and there, or like 1 extra range here and there. They're not gonna be like overjoyed, above the moon, like, oh my gosh, this thing's broken type deal. I think this whole new setup they got going on in Edge of Fate, the whole aspect changes for Prismatic, and class item changes to where you'd have to have 100 at least into these to get your class item up in 30 seconds. That would be great, but I really hope, the one thing I hope is that they add um like this untethered helmet right here. I hope they add those armor perks on, or like the armor things on the old things as well, but cap them at 10, so it's still worth grinding to that 11th one. But it's not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I have put thousands of hours in this game and all my armor is useless. Sure, it might be for a time. I don't think it will be like super necessary for you to grind the new gear for like the casual gamer. The casual gamer that hops on the weekends or weekdays for 4 hours a day, I think y'all will be just fine with the guns and stuff that we have already. I think the people that are most excited are the creators, the people who put thousands of hours that either have just a part-time job or have no job and can take like 10, 20 hours or 10, 12, 15 hours a day grinding. I think they will enjoy the armor grind way more than the casual players that have 9 to 5 jobs, that have kids to feed. They won't. I don't think they will enjoy the new changes as much as the people who grind a lot. And I know since it's the start of a new saga, they want to start pretty much over with a better system than what they had. This system right here is cool, it's fun, but it's not for the 1-2% gamer, you know. The 2% gamers are probably at like 2060, 2070 by now. And I only play like 4 or 5 hours a day before or after work and before I go to bed. And I don't think that I will want to change that. I think that the game will change eventually. Oh, I forgot it's a new week, so we got a new emotes and stuff. Ooh! Your boy's doing a claw machine. Ooh, I got a ghost shell. Heck yeah. Hell yeah. I like these shaders. I like looking at the shaders. Oh, that actually looks pretty sick. I'm a shader guy. Because this will help me. It'll help me in the future. Rather than these ships and stuff. Like, they're just too. Why spend 3,000 glimmer on a ship that you're probably going to use once, theoretically, you know? Or a sparrow you're going to use maybe twice. And I like these weapon ornaments. I always buy the weapon ornaments. Even if I... Ooh, get it. Get it, Titan. Oh, get it, Titan. Going show. A gong show. Frickin' English. Alright, Atlantic Crush. I love the kind of dark... Some people say this is red. I think it's like dark orange. I really love dark orange just kind of sprinkled in places. Like it shows up so bright. Like your eye catches those little orange spots way more than because it's on a kind of different palette. I like that. But I will always get the shaders. I don't think, oh dude, this one hits in a different way. And even the eye is orange too. Oh baby. I enjoy shaders way more than anything else in this game. Just because I like making my character look sick. Well, this is usually my character. In most light syntheseps. This is usually my character. I want to get, which shader is it? It's the shader from Garden of Salvation. I want that Garden of Salvation shader because it makes your character look like he was just dug up out of a grave. This was my old color shader, just because I like whenever you turn it, it changes color kinda. I really love colors that do that. They're like 6 different colors in one. Ooh, actually, this might be my new go-to shader. I really like the purple. I think I am going to use that from now on. Ooh, Reefer Gala. Dude, there's just so many really good shaders in this game, and even that's good. It's just kind of there. But your boy's using the Royal Protector because he loves his kind of purple. Like a color in purple. I really like that. Let's see what this. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. He riding a gosh dang horse. Look at him go. Okay. Anyway. Before we get on a tangent, let's talk about another subject. Lodi. Now before I talk to you about this guy, I have to say I created a lore in my head while working, and I think it would make him a smidge better in a lore phrase, and also I think it would be just a funnier lore for him to have. And this is not the actual lore, just want to preface that. This is a lore I came up with in my head in like 2 seconds. Well, it wasn't 2 seconds, it was more like 20 minutes, but I have a whole detailed sheet on like exactly what I wanted to say, but this is gonna be like an overview on who I think Lodi is, because I don't know anything about him. The only thing I know is he shows up and you and Ikora meet him. That's the only thing I know. I don't even know what he says. I don't even know if he likes us or doesn't like us. I don't know if he is from another planet or he's like I just don't know. But this is a big but. I have my lore that I created, and this is how it goes. From student to master to lost to found. Now you may be wondering, why did I create those 4 things? Well, in the teaser, it seems like Lodi had a darkness voice kind of similar to something we've already seen before. So let me play a game while I tell you my theory or my lore about the one named Lodi. Long, long ago, in a earlier time period, around 1984, earlier, over 400 years earlier, Lodi grew up in a small town outside of Chicago, always wondering what it was like to be in the big city. His family didn't have transport. They always rode the train
Guardian,
to work.
my forces
Mom and
report
Dad.
that Shadow Legion units are shifting their attention to the Cloud Arc.
That's likely why Neomuna's defense systems are reading offline. But I bet those Vex punks are also poking too close to the city's internals.
family makes sense. Doping is hard. You can't just jump over
Is that a Taken blight? The Shadow Legion are forcing Taken into that Vex pocket.
The Vex net uses similar gateways as the Cloud Arc, which means they could infiltrate the network and gain access to the Veil.
Taken are relentless, especially under the Witness's control. We need to get in there and stop them. Portal is clear. Let's follow those Taken and remove them from the system.
Hey, Guardian? I'm not sure just how much damage these Taken can do, but hopefully we can beat them to the punch. The Cloud Arc is built on the energy field produced by the Veil. It's resilient, but not impenetrable. A backdoor wouldn't be impossible. Maybe getting rid of whatever is at the center of this will also help our Vex problem. Maybe.
12.
There's got to be a way to destroy these blights. We can't let more of them form.
guy was really good with electrical things. Never got
The Taken haven't even been here very long, and they've still managed to take over this Vex pocket.
They're fitting allies for Callus, infesting any space they're found in. If we'd waited any longer, this would have been much worse.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about that.
walk through the mausoleum and see anything in its shape from whenever it was created to whenever it was created. And he was the creator of portals, time portals, at the time. He saw it. So we're practicing this technology to understand the Vex.
This is the access point. Let's get rid of that Taken before it opens a path into the Cloud Arc.
Vex at this time. darkness from the veil. They found this huge patch of darkness from the veil. And they wanted to bring it there. So Maya, or Lodi helped Maya bring the veil to Neomuna, where she was currently staying. Well, Maya enjoyed this and said, "Hey, if you want to do something else, hey, I'll help you with your journey since you're helping me. You're helping me with mine." So he's like, "Hey, I maybe can create my own pathway here. Maybe I can do something good for maybe our people in the past and the future." So he became a he became a time master. He was the world's first time master. So he would go through time, making things right that went wrong with the world. So he would, if, let's say, someone brought someone back from the dead, he would make sure that in the future, that nothing would happen happenstancely, like nothing bad would happen to humanity, or nothing would stray away from the inevitable ending, or what he thought would be the end of humanity, or the end of everything. So he became a timekeeper. He would travel to and from time to make sure Maya got her wish and made sure she used the power the right way. So we all know it ended up with that. So let's talk about Lodi's vision for the future. So he brought the veil to Neomuna and said, "Hey, I could be of some use here. This thing has a boatload of power that we might be able to use." Created the whole Neomuna.
Guardian, my forces report that Shadow Legion units are shifting their attention to the Cloud Arc.
That's likely why Neomuna's defense systems are reading offline. But I bet those Vex pumps are also poking too close to the city's internals.
that a Taken blight? The Shadow Legion are forcing Taken into that Vex pocket.
The Vex net uses similar gateways as the Cloud Arc, which means they could infiltrate the network and gain access to the Veil.
Taken are relentless, especially under the Witness's control. We need to get in there and stop them. Follow those Taken and remove them from the system.
Hey, Guardian? I'm not sure just how much damage these Taken can do, but hopefully we can beat them to the punch. The Cloud Arc is built on the energy field produced by the Veil. It's resilient, but not impenetrable. A back door wouldn't be impossible. Maybe getting rid of whatever is at the center of this will also help our Vex problem. Maybe.
That he already created. And it put a big hole.
There's got to be a way to destroy these blights. We can't let more of them form.
space they're found in. If we'd waited any longer, this would have been much worse.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about that.
Well,
This is the access point. Let's get rid of that taken before it opens a path into the Cloud Ark.
this race was taken. he helps these people for as long as he actually learns that they can create things with this new matter called dark matter never seen before. So he helps them create they're actually scientists who study this dark matter and figure out that everything around them is actually dark matter. The plant life, the air that they're breathing has a little bit of dark matter in it. So he captures this into a container, captures this dark matter into a container and studies it for 20 years until he creates a gun that has both arc and stasis added to it, because he couldn't really weave strand into it because it wasn't a solid source. And somehow the dark matter binded with arc way better than it binded with strand or fire. He never really could make those, never make strand or fire really work. Void would create like balls of void that would explode on impact or bounce off of other dark matter items like dark matter infused titanium. These void balls would bounce off of them and then explode on something that wasn't dark matter based. So he created a cannon, a hand cannon, and he wanted to figure out a new way to traverse this place, but he couldn't figure it out because he couldn't wield anything but strand, and strand would just unravel whenever it attached to dark matter. And he was just stumped until one day a few years pass and a sentient life is found on his now home planet of Kepler. He says, "Hey, I've," he probably says something along the lines of, "Hey, I've created things and something's wrong with time because I'm here now, even though I think I was invited, and I don't know why. Why don't you help me not only save time, but save Kepler?" So he finds out that we've actually could attach ourselves to these said items and actually wield these because we hold light and he does not. We hold a light source, and he finds out that you are with a former student or a former classmate of his in Ikora Ray, and he says, "Hey, buddy, remember me? I know you beat me on every exam, but you ain't got to show me up one last time." And he figures out that she actually died and came back to life using a ghost. And now she's a Vanguard warlock and saving the world, and now has a supernatural power of void as her main subclass. And he looks at her and is like, "That's crazy to see you here. And how has things changed?" And he wants to understand what happened, not only to her, but to Earth and to what does it look like now? What is he's curious now because he's been gone for so long and it felt like he's been gone for eternity. But he's just been traveling through time without knowing. So it makes him feel like he's been on Kepler for years, but in fact he's only been there a couple days. Because he's a time master, able to manipulate time to where he could always be one step ahead of anything at any time. And this is where we learn about Lodi. And I'm excited because I actually want to hear his true lore instead of this one I just made up. And I hope y'all guys enjoyed, because I made it up in my head about 20 minutes at work. So I hope y'all guys enjoyed that non-fact lore that I just came up with. And maybe y'all guys should subscribe. Maybe I'll do like a breakdown video with like cutscenes and close like full cinematic-esque YouTube over this story that I have, or this lore that I have or created. I want to talk about gosh, I'm saying so many times. I want to talk about maybe some more characters that you'll see in the future more than others. Before I sign off over here for the night, I just wanted to post a video of this thing that I came up in my head at work, and hopefully y'all guys enjoyed it. Well, I think in maybe not this season, maybe in Renegades, in expansion Renegades, we're going to follow Micah 10 around, and I think it's going to be based on Mars. At least from what I see in like the barren wet landscape, I think we're going back to Mars. And Mars is going to be it's going to be a doozy, man. Going back there, seeing all the new Cabal that are friends now. We're not even fighting with them anymore. Kaido will come back to help guide us through this barren landscape, but we'll also find out a new faction actually took over the landscape, and it's actually Guardians who ended up defying their true destiny and decide to run around this barren landscape on Mars and use their new powers to destroy every single Cabal on Mars and make it their own. I think that would be a really cool start to Renegades. Fighting against actual Guardians. That would be crazy. Maybe have a whole like new system of like fighting with them. Like press T out like 100 times to escape the grip of these new Guardians. And that would be kind of cool. So you actually get to fight against Guardians in Renegades. And there will be a new I think like Lord of Wolves style, like wave based thing, but only like 20 minutes long, where you get thrown into a big pit and like kind of Coliseum-esque, almost Coliseum-esque. And that would be cool to fight against Guardians and prove your worth and have like one Guardian come in that's like 100 power level, and then another Guardian come in at like 150 power level, another Guardian come in at like 100 or 200 power level, and like keep going up until it gets extension or like harder and harder, and maybe you'll face against 2 Guardians at 200 power level. Like that would be kind of crazy, and you just kind of make your way up the ladder from there. That would be a very interesting experiment that Bungie could do.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Done. Check. Check. Done. Check.
Wait, I didn't have very many prime immigrants in mind. Yeah, that would be very cool to see what they do with that, if they ever do that, of course. I don't think they will. That sounds like so much work. I think a lot of people are excited for Renegades because it's going to be the first, I think it'll be the first expansion where we don't have, like, it'll be like, it'll be the first, like, actual faction, I think. Like, the first actual new enemies that we're playing against. But I don't think it'll be, like, super crazy. Like, a whole new race. I think it'll be a same race, but... it'll be Guardians. I don't think it'll be something we haven't seen before. It'll just be a different take on new things.
Goodbye.
And I think that will be interesting to see if they actually do that or not. That would be kind of cool, but it kind of seemed like we're going to be facing other Guardians.
Greetings.
And I think that's something PvP people probably don't know or probably don't think about, like, hey, that we're probably facing Guardians in this. That would be kind of cool, but what else am I thinking of? I knew I had some other things for some other characters, but I think we're following the Mike and Chen that we're actually going to meet them in person, run around with them to find
Well,
skills,
Titan, let's see what we have here.
that the Guardian some Guardians actually killed their ghosts, I think.
This.
Died them in order to
We have your back, Guardian.
get the loot. They wanted to find the treasure. I actually don't know if that's real, but it would be.
Here you go.
I would
Till
really
next
love
time.
to deep dive that before it comes out, like coming
There's
up
no
with the
data like encrypted.
lore for them. Like Lightless. The Lightless is what they're gonna be called, I think. That would be kind of cool. Lightless Guardians. Which we've already seen that before with Zavala and Osiris and I don't think Saint 14 has a ghost. But KT-16 lost his ghost and died for real. And I think this time Ikora will lose her ghost in this new thing. That would be kind of a twist, huh? And I wouldn't doubt if Crow was there too and Zabala's there too, of course. I wouldn't doubt if they were there. But I think think it's mainly just going to be Ikora because it's dealing with another element, and whenever elements are like created in the game, the first person I think of is Ikora. Every time I think of a new element in a game, Ikora is the first to mind. She's always studying books over elements and how to create different supers and how to create movements and things, new things, and how to basically meditate on them. Every time I think of a new thing, it's always Ikora. It comes straight to my head. So it didn't surprise me whenever I saw Ikora in this new thing with new dark matter energy things. And I think we already have a dark matter in the game with Presage, where you shoot a dark matter bubble and you can walk through dark matter shields. And I think dark matter is more like a shield thing that these, and we saw a new enemy type, which
Got it.
or I didn't see a new enemy type, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Where it had like a vandal with like thrusters on it, or like, I mean, the servitor is actually made with dark matter, because the dark matter fused with void and would push out these void blasts. Instead of thinking it was all light this whole time, it was actually the servitor. Because what light does is it makes a perfect
It was a hot class
the
passage,
servitor's
but modded so much you'd never recognize it.
shots that it comes out of its mouth are more fluid and kind of horrible, not like always fluctuating, and that's what I think of when I think of dark matter. It's always like fluctuating but staying in one place. And they all have used this elixir.
Let's begin.
Have used this to create bubbles and create things to help things stay out. And I think that's pretty cool. That Aurora will go back to be like,
Do you want
Excuse me.
the first people that created bubbles were the Elixir, and they created bubbles with dark matter and void. Like, that was sick.
Guardians are always welcome.
But that would be a pretty cool lore to that. Or who other people am I thinking of that we'll see in this new season? We'll spend a lot more time with besides Lodi and Ikora and the Ghost, of course. Of course, there'll be a new race of some sort in the future. I don't know if it's gonna drop this new. I don't know if it's gonna drop this season or third season. I know that there's gonna be a new race. They have to have a new race in the game if they're coming out with something big like this.
The archives give it, and the
I'm
cryptarchs
hoping
make
it's
it into
more of
something
a
useful.
combat race rather than a thing that's just like, hey, here's these people that you can talk to, here you go. I think that's very cool. And I'd rather fight them and then talk to them.
We should forget about fighting them on the TV. Okay, if I listen to music while I work.
Titan's actually not my class that I would main.
I have known many
I actually
Titans,
mained
but none
Warlock.
quite like you.
And I actually had 3 Warlocks before I figured out you could make 30 different combinations of the same Warlock. So I said, hey, let's
Listen
switch
up, good people of the city.
Hunter Knights. And I did Hunter Knights. And actually Titan was my 3rd preferred one. Ooh, I got all these. Actually want to make my own clan.
I'll
And
take it.
call it not ready to have a community yet. I kind of just want to have fun with the game, and if something fun comes out, I'll play it. And if something fun doesn't come out of it, I'll just talk about it. And I think that was the most fun I had in this game. I took a break from it for 8 years, so coming back to it feels weird, but it feels nice. Like I was a Xbox 360 or Xbox gamer, Destiny 1, and I still have the game in the book. And then I bought Destiny 2 and played like 2 hours of it at the start of the Red War, and then dropped the game after I beat the campaign. Campaign was okay. I didn't really like that they killed the speaker for no reason besides, hey, you're gonna die now type deal. I don't like that. It's not very good storytelling. Because you would want to like the person that's dying, or like dislike the person that's dying. And it seems like the only real person that you actually spent some time with that
What do you think Zavala should do?
fought against and battled with are two people, Cade and Callus. Those are the two people that you really, or the two characters that you really spent the most time with and figured out, hey, what if this happened? What if that happened? That would be crazy to see some other narrative. I did not like the addition of Callus and Final
The
Shape.
archives give
Because
it,
it was just
and the
like, hey, Callus
cryptarchs
is
make it
alive.
into something.
Good. Where is he? Oh, he's helping the darkness. I wonder why. The darkness probably gave him all the riches in the world. Lo and behold, the darkness gave him all the riches in the world. That's what it was. And, just the fact the darkness is the end of it. The dumbest thing in human history. Sure, there was a couple snippets of Callus talking and stuff, but it wasn't like, it didn't seem like you were really with Callus and understood Callus and figured out why he did what he did. That, I don't like that part. It didn't really feel in the story at all. It didn't really fit the narrative. I'd rather have just a random darkness person than Callus. Callus seemed like sure, he was greedy and everything, gold and riches and stuff, but it seemed like he was just kind of thrown in there.
Okay, I can take a break.
Along with Keitel, and thrown in there and said, hey, here's these characters that you know in Destiny 2, let's get rid of them, type deal. It seemed like that's what it was, and they just wanted to get rid of these characters that we've talked so much about, like fictional, like characters that were a big part of the lore that's like instantly gone the moment you meet them. Like, is just not good storytelling. You want to feel like you hate them with all your guts, and then kill them. Must be a database. But you want to hate the characters, despise them. You want to feel emotions and like have
life of a guardian is a life.
Life before bad, this was the life after bad. You gotta know the full picture, and it just seems like you just turned a page in some of these characters' lives and then killed them. Like, turned the first page and was like, oh, you don't like the dark, you don't like the light, duh. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. But, I do like thinking about lore that probably should be in the game, but isn't, or that should be a thing, but it's just misplaced. Or like, I love thinking about things that might happen, rather than things that have happened, and lore, actual lore. I don't like thinking about actual lore, I want to create my own. And, when I think of the edge of fate, what fate is,
I need your
it
attention.
seems like fate in this context is inevitable, because that's what Bungie's whole design is. Like, hey, this is a linear game, we're gonna make fate linear, which is impossible, because you're supposed to create your own fate, and you can't create fate in a linear game. It's inevitable, and I don't think it's going to give players like ability to create.
Hello
I think
again.
that's what games like.
Very well.
I think that's what games like. Why am I saying? Games like Baldur's Gate 3 does really well. Is create an experience, but create linear experiences and hundreds of them. And so whenever a player plays through the game, probably 10% of the time, you're playing the exact same game as somebody else. Maybe even less than that. Because one experience can go 100 different ways. Like, opening a bottle might kill a character that you've never met before. Like, but not opening the bottle makes you save the person from inevitable death, but kill off to a different character that was actually bad and you wanted to kill. That's non-linear, and I really enjoy that.
How you living?
Non-linearity. Really like that. I also need to get some of these. I have not played Gambit. I really need to play Gambit. I hear a lot of good things and a lot of bad things, so not really wanting to play.
Come back alive, brother.
But yeah, that would be a way to make the game non-linear. Is, let's say you meet Lodi, and you're like, hey, Lodi's a great guy, you keep him around. You just keep him around the whole time. But if you don't like him, he doesn't look like a good character, you just kill him. Why not? You can just
Hey there, Guardian.
and maybe
What's up?
the person that's supposed to be bad, you actually befriend.
What can you teach me?
Or like have them both as friends, or like try to be a middleman and be like, hey, y'all guys are fighting. I know I like you and I like you. Why are y'all fighting? Like, let's make
Carry the light
let's
with
make
you.
this fun.
Incident in
Like,
Hangar Base 6. I'm on my way.
and then you could be like, hey, so and so said that your breath stinks, and then you have Lodi kill him. Like, that would be a non-linear thing that wouldn't sacrifice what Destiny is, and would help the community like feel like they're a part of the game rather than like keep doing doing the same thing everybody else is doing. Like, oh, like 0.5 seconds. I feel like me and you are doing the exact same thing.
What cipher is
Just want to
this?
watch the game rather than play it. Why play the game whenever everything's the same? And it doesn't really feel. It doesn't really seem. Doesn't really seem. It's really fun, but it wouldn't seem like you're all doing everything at the same time. You feel like separate guardians. You feel like the same guardian all the time, every time, all that kind of stuff. And yeah. I know my opinion doesn't matter. I don't have anybody following me, or anybody subscribed to me. Well, I do have some, but it's not like anybody interested in Destiny right now. I think this is my second video I posted on this game, and I'm usually a hardcore player coming from EFT, where, of course, the developers kind of you to the player base, so I left the game. I still played it once for like 2 hours.
I saw that brain standing in the corner for like hours.
Yeah, but I was actually a D1 player. I played Mog whenever it first came out. I was like one of the first players in Destiny. I was actually one of the first players to get the Vex Mythic class, and I got it randomly, I think on my 4th attempt at the boss. This is back when you could push him off with a grenade. Back when you could push him off with the solar grenade. And we were just running it on, like, switching characters, having a save on that character and running it like 10, 15 times till everybody got the Vex class. Well, I was like the first person in the group to get the Vex class, and sadly I had to leave, but they ran it and they all got it, and which was pretty cool because we had a full team that ran VOG with Vex Mythic class, but I was poor at the time and I wasn't really into PC games or really into streaming or really into capturing of the moment. And I think that's the main reason why content creators, what they do is they have these moments in games and they want to capture it. They don't want to, it seems like the people who want to share it to make money off of it, they won't make very much of the purple puppies. That's a sick emote, dog. Ooh, dancing.
Yes.
Ooh, he wants a hug. Hey.
I haven't given up on the star. Did you ever think it would do something?
Now, we need more of this. This would be kind of fun. And now we're friends. Just like that. Boom. Anyway, I'm glad you all, if anybody listens to this in the future, if I make this into a video, I hope y'all guys enjoyed my kind of lore before the lore spiel. And I'm probably going to make like 2 videos out of this. I hope I can get at least one good one from the Lodi lore that I
Production is
dropped
down
before the
33%.
Lodi lore. You know what I'm saying? The non-lore lore. The non-lore.
I need a rest.
The lore before the lore happens, or what I think the lore will be in the future. That's happening a month from now. yeah, thank y'all guys for watching.
Calling it.
I'm
Time for
pretty
a break.
happy that I got to get that off my chest because I was thinking about it all day at work. Like, man, this is so funny. Like,
Just gonna
imagine
take a minute here.
that Lodi, before you meet him, was actually an escort from Earth back in 1980. Or like early 1990s. That would be hilarious. Anyways, thank y'all guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can make more videos like this. Maybe I can make more descriptive videos over my thoughts on what's happening. Thank y'all guys. Hopefully I can make better content.